Well, good weekend, Knicks Nation. I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend this weekend here, as we're now in the first weekend of June. The year is flying by, and there's a lot happening. The thing about the Knicks is that there's always something to talk about. With the New York Knicks, there's always something to talk about because it is one of the most valuable franchises in the nation, and because of its huge fan base and all the decisions with regard to the Knicks become very major and very national decisions. And when the Knicks are good, it's even bigger than when they're bad. But then again, when they're bad, it's big too. But now the Knicks are good, so these decisions are very large. So welcome to all of you. Again, I hope that you're safe and healthy, and that your family is safe and healthy, and that you and your family's needs in terms of food and shelter and clothing, as well as health, there's more important things in the world beside the Knicks. But I hope your needs are being met, and blessings upon those that do the important work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders of saving lives, and those that do the dirty work of picking up garbage to keep places clean, and those that do the humble work of making deliveries for our convenience, as well as those that do the heroic work of rescuing teenagers and children from child molestation, abuse, and pedophilia. Blessings upon them. Curses on those that also participate in prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on them, and on those that profit from these things, and on those perverts that create the demand of which others provide the supply. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 people right now, while we're here enjoying the Knicks and watching sports and doing our thing, that don't even have a roof over their head. Most of them are children, and blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Greetings again to Francisco Acevedo, Jay Blanco, my brother Malik Shabazz, Grand Rising, my brother Organic Nick Fanatics. Please look at his channel. Always good stuff from him. Jay Cruz, Gumby, glad to see you back. Shaw Powers, also. Hello, Michael Drake, my man. 2189, my brother James E. Moore, Francisco Carrillo, Blair V, Viz Shop. How y'all doing? Coach Hauser. How are you, Coach Hauser? Chris Hauser, Reggie Phillip, Billy Blanco, D.O., Tamel Lucas, Project VMG, Peter. How you doing? Torres 2423, picks for Timmy 2. NKNYT. Well, how y'all doing? What's good with y'all? Caliente Kid. How you doing, Caliente? Captain Matumbo. Happy Sunday to you. And all of you, again, I hope you're all safe, healthy, and well as we're dealing with Knicks stuff. Now, we're in June right now, and deadlines are coming. And as we talk about, there is decisions, and decisions that have to be made. Big decisions. Only one way. What's up, Drip Moore? Jason Sylvester. Drip Moore, how you doing, my brother? And Tone. Eddie Pearson, how you doing? Diamond Holdings, what's up? How y'all doing? Yes, so very important decisions that have to be made. Now, we'll talk about the draft, although I have to be honest, if you haven't noticed, I'm not placing a lot of emphasis on the draft this year. I just not, because it's not really necessary for the Knicks. If there's an opening or they find that there's some player they want to get, we'll talk about that later this week as we're getting closer to the draft. But there are bigger decisions that have to be looming right now than the draft. It's bigger decisions. If you're talking about the Knicks developing a long-term sustainable winner, and they're well on their way to doing that. This last 3 seasons, the body of work that the Knicks have put together, both the management team, with the scouting team, with the coaching staff, with the players and development. Over the last 3 seasons, the Knicks have put together a body of work that now proves they're back. They're back on the winning track. They're back. They've made a change in the culture. They're now turning the corner and developing a long-term sustainable winner. Nick, Miss Stevenson, welcome. Brian Miller, how are you? Again, Ribby RM, how are you doing, my man? All of y'all, I hope everybody's well. So this summer becomes a very pivotal, important point. Now, there's a lot of things to consider. A lot of things to consider. Again, the Knicks, they the first year we know they overperformed. The second year they underperformed, but really when you look at the development, it was not really that great of an underperformance in the second year as much as is really the right progression that you would expect. And then, of course, this past season with the acquisition of Jalen Brunson and the development of all of the guys on the Knicks, their regular players, and the drafting of new players and development of Quentin Grimes, the Knicks moved to the next level. Okay, they moved to the next level, coming in 5th in the Eastern Conference, winning their first round series against the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. And so the Knicks are now in a position to move forward, stay the same, or take a step back. Now, the step back is unlikely. The step back is unlikely because they're just moving too well with all the elements I just named in terms of the management team, the coaching staff, the development of the players themselves. I don't think they're going to take a step backwards. So they're either going to stay similar to where they were or move forward, in my view. So let's talk about the decisions. The biggest decision this summer. Well, first of all, let's take some minor stuff out the way. So, yeah, Scott Perry is not going to be brought back. Scott Perry is going to lead the Knicks. It really is pretty irrelevant. It's not a big deal that we need to spend a lot of time discussing. And thank you for the $5, $21.89. We have to shuffle the deck. Guys have to be promoted into rotation, swapped out to other teams. It's about who fits seamlessly and not forcing it. Yes, I do agree. But let's talk about the GM situation. So, okay, when you're talking about front office, and really you have to look at front office as a whole, okay? You start to look at front office in pieces when it's in shambles, okay? And the Knicks has spent many decades, as we know, in shambles. At least prior to this last 3 years, most of the 20 years prior to that have been in shambles. And so you're looking, when you're in shambles, for one key piece to be added to the management team that might help. That is not the case right now. The Knicks have a very solid front office led by Leon Rose. So because they have a solid front office, you don't want to accept the apple cart. Okay, you really don't. You want to keep a continuity in the front office. Very important, especially when you built and continue to build a new culture. So you don't want to upset anything by bringing in a big name or making a big deal. You really, more than likely, either want a quiet acquisition or more, what I think is going to happen is a promotion from within. Okay, you already got your management team. You kind of already are all on the same page. You know you're you're walking with the coaching staff stride for stride. So you don't want to upset that. So probably the Knicks will probably promote for the general manager position from within. And so I wouldn't be looking for Bob Myers or anybody like that to be brought in, because you got a good management team. You don't need to upset the apple cart. You really are looking for continuity. And so you just want to kind of bring it and let it just continue flowing, which means that probably Rosas or Allen Houston, I can see that, or Walt Parent, somebody already from within, you're going to probably do that and just continue moving forward. Okay, so the GM part is really no big deal. Of course, as I said, anything concerning the New York Knicks is going to be news, no matter how big or how small it is, because it's the Knicks. So with that in mind, people are going to make a big deal of who the GM is going to be, blah, blah, blah. But in my view, looking at long-term sustainable winning, I could care less, because I know they're really trying. They're smart enough to continue to not upset the apple cart and keep a unified situation. And, what the Knicks have right now in terms of management, there's several aspects. They're very smart. They're very opportunistic. They collect assets. They keep everything in-house. They don't leak stuff to the media. Okay. So they're going to continue to do that. All right. So you're not going to get a lot of news from, savvy. That's right. Coach House is savvy. So you're not going to get a lot of news out from the Knicks inner circle unless you get it from Leon Rose directly, and he'll have prepared statements, and he gives you that. And we've seen that already. So, and that's what kills me. All these people that have all of these inside information about what the Knicks are thinking or what they were going to trade for or whatever, that's just strictly clickbait. That is pretty worthless, honestly, in terms of the overall build of the New York Knicks. It's pretty worthless. So, and I'm more, as you all probably know by now, I'm more concerned with realistic moves to bring us to the next level. Okay, realistic moves to bring the Knicks to the next level, because what we're talking about, we're still, even though they have really developed nicely in the last 3 seasons under the current management team coaching staff, we still have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Continue the consistency. See, Miami, for example, have been a consistent culture for 15 years or more. Okay, probably more when you think about it, because they won a chip in 2004, I think, with Shaq. So you got to go back even before that. They've been a consistent culture for probably 20 years, the better part of 20 years. So they didn't just start doing this 3 years ago. Okay. So you want to continue to build on what you have if you're the Knicks and make it solid. Okay. Make it very solid. All right. So again, because of, unfortunately, the leftover crackheads from back in 20 years ago and even 5 and 10 years ago, some of you are still thinking that NBA 2K make big changes, sweep out the coaching staff, so on and so forth. The Knicks are not going to do that. You want continuity. You may not like Coach Tibbs, but you cannot deny he has won more than he's lost while he's been with the Knicks. Again, please remember, the Knicks were winning 20, 21, 17 games before Tibbs got here. Let me say that again. The Knicks were winning 21, 22, 17 games before Tibbs got here, in the 3 seasons before Tibbs got here. Some of y'all forget that. You've gone from winning 17 games to winning 47 games. Do you understand what it takes to do that in the NBA? No, wait. Let me make sure. Do you understand what it takes to go from winning 17 games to go to winning 47 games? See, that's why I can't take seriously any of you talking about firing Thibodeau. I cannot take you seriously, because you must be an idiot. You have to be, because you totally don't understand what it takes to win in the NBA. And some say, well, just because we're not of your opinion, we're idiots. Yes, in this case, yes, you are. You have to be. You must be. Okay? You must be. And if you understand anything about long-term sustainable winning, you don't want to lose Thibodeau, because you need the continuity that you just now developed after 20 years. Okay? You need the continuity. You have to have that. All right? So please, that's why some of y'all talking about Tibbs gotta go, this Tibbs hate, which is really some mental issue you must be having. I can't help you. I'm not a psychologist. Maybe you're having some problem with your wife and you're trying to take it out on Tibbs. I don't know what your problem is. But a coach that takes you from winning 17 games to 2 playoff appearances in 3 years, to a top 4 finish, a top 5 finish, 47 wins, you must be crazy. Something must be wrong with you. So I can't really take you seriously. I'm sorry. I just can't. Okay? I can't. Let's move on. One of the biggest, in fact, the biggest decision this summer is Julius Randle. That's the biggest decision this summer. Julius Randle is the biggest decision. Okay. And for many reasons. Okay. Now, I want to do this, if you will indulge me. I want to separate Julius's actually on-court performance from Julius's emotional issues that he has, because these are two different things, in a sense. What do I mean by that? Well, let's assume, let's say Michael Jordan was a complete anal retentive jerk. And by all accounts, he is. But Michael Jordan makes everybody better. And once you added pieces around him, 6 chips. So you'll put up with him not giving tips at restaurants, being anal about life and with his teammates, making teammates cry, punching teammates in the face. You'll put up with that because he's winning you 6 chips. Same with Kobe Bryant. Completely selfish player. But he wins you 5 chips. You'll put up with him throwing up 35 shots a game. You'll put up with him throwing up air balls. You know why? Because he plays defense and on an all NBA level. He's that type of player that is so good, he's going to win you 5 championships. So you'll put up with the nonsense that you got to put up with him. So you don't have to like these two guys. Okay, you don't have to like these two guys. But if you want to win, you'll put up with it. Or Dennis Rodman running around Manhattan dressed in a skirt like he's a woman and, painting his hair all kind of colors and gambling all kind of hours and coming to show up at the game the next day. You'll put up with that because he leads the league in rebounding. He plays one of the best defensive forwards to ever play this game, and he wins you 3 chips. So you put up with it. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Thanks for the $2.21.89. MJ made Rodman better. Tim Duncan made San Antonio Spurs. That's right. But my point is, you'll put up with some antics if it means championships. Y'all hear what I'm saying? That's my point here. You'll put up with some crap if it means chips. If you're going to win some chips, you'll put up with some bull crap. Listen, even sometimes not. Patrick Ewing was a prima donna. Patrick Ewing was a prima donna. If you remember Patrick Ewing, he was even at Georgetown, big time prima donna, man. And he got worse when he came to the league, but you couldn't mess with him. Defense, rebounding, offense, you couldn't mess with him. Okay, it was the Knicks that didn't bring a sidekick worthy of him. That's why you didn't win no chips with him. But you can't mess with Ewing. He was a warrior between the lines on both sides of the basketball. A warrior. He might not have got along with all his teammates. He might have had to get special treatment, but you'll put up with that because of what he brings to the table. Now, with all that in mind, that's why I say, let's talk about Julius, but let's take all of his, knocking computers out the hand, all of his brooding, all of his negative attitude. Put that to the side for a second. Let's look at Julius just strictly from basketball production. Okay? And we have to be more critical because we're dealing with what is acknowledged to be one of our top players on the team. I think we can acknowledge that, can we not? I mean, he's one of the top players on the team. I mean, period. You may like him or don't like him, but you got to acknowledge he's one of the top, at least 2 players on the team, him and Jalen Brunson, right? You got to acknowledge that. But in all fairness, with being the top player, more is expected. Of whom much is given, much is expected. So when you are the top player, there's more expected of you. So, for example, there's more expected of Julius Randle than there would be, say, of Deuce McBride. There's more expected of Julius Randle than there would be of Emmanuel Quickly or Obi Toppin. Because Julius is an 8-year veteran, a 2-time All-Star, a 2-time All-NBA player, a 20-10 guy. So you're expecting more from him. Win shares of 8. So, he by himself can win you about 8 games a season by himself. So you're expecting more from him. And you should. Just like if you're the Los Angeles Clippers, you're expecting a lot from Kawhi Leonard and PG-13. If they don't come through, you criticize them because you're expecting more from them. Or a Jimmy Butler. Okay? Or a LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You're expecting more from these guys because they're your best players and you're really pinning all your hopes on them. Same Julius Randle or Giannis Antetokounmpo or the Joker. You're expecting more from these guys. Okay? So it's fair to expect a high level of play on a consistent basis from Julius Randle. Now, at least two NBA level people have criticized Julius Randle's consistent or lack of consistent defensive effort. One of them was Kendrick Perkins, straight. The other one was Jeff Van Gundy. They said straight, he is slacking on defense. He mopes too much and gives up on defense. They both said it. And there probably others. I'm just going by two people, one that's an NBA champion that has played, and the other a former beloved coach of the New York Knicks. So they both said he gives up too easily on defense. He lacks consistent effort on defense. Okay? They both said it. I'm not saying that. That's what they said. I happen to agree. So for a guy that's supposed to be our top dog, I need more consistently on the defensive side of the basketball than I've been getting. In a team defense, look at Denver, look at Miami. You can't find a weak link on either defense. Why is that? Are they all NBA defenders? No. But defense on an elite level, on championship level in the NBA takes all 5 guys. You mask some weaknesses, but you do it so well that it looks like they could all play defense on a high level. Okay? Both of those teams do that. We, the Knicks, are trying to get there. You cannot have your best player or one of your 2 best players slack off on defense or decide, all right, tonight I'm going to give 100% effort, but tomorrow night, you cannot have that. Now, some of you remember at the end of the season before this one, Johnny Bryant we were told later, Julius said it, Johnny Bryant said it, had a conversation with Julius Randle and asked him a question. Would you want to play with you the way you played this year? Would you want to play with you? And Julius admitted, no, I wouldn't want to play with me if I was making that decision. This was not this past season, this was last season. Some of y'all remember that? And so what happened? He apparently took that to heart, Julius Randle did, and made an effort to play better over the course of the season. Okay? So the question we must ask now, Knicks Nation, you got to know that what Jeff Van Gundy said and what Kendrick Perkins said, and I think Legs said it too, you got to know that that's reached Julius Randle. That between them and Johnny Bryant, the question now is, Julius, can we get a defensive effort from you on every night? Can we get that every night? Can we get that? It might mean Instead of playing 35 minutes a game, which is about what Julius plays, he gets back down to 27, 28 and rests a little bit so he can give 100% effort. Because I think, honestly, to be fair, I think a lot of the problem with Julius is he's resting on defense. He wants to play heavy minutes. He wants to be out there. But what he does is he paces himself and he rests on defense. That costs the Knicks because it gets exploited by the better teams. Okay. And so that's a problem. So now here it really boils down to this thing. If Julius is told about his lack of defense or his consistent lack of effort, really what we're talking about defensively, will he positively respond or will he not? That's a huge question. Will he positively respond or will he not? And no, old dog, it is not the coach's fault. Again, some of y'all need to understand, this ain't high school. This ain't college. This the league. If you're a top-level player, you're expected to play like a top-level player without a coach yelling at you like you're some child. If you can't, maybe you shouldn't be a top-level player. Nobody has to talk to Kawhi Leonard like that. Jimmy Butler, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Joker. Nobody has to talk to them about that. So some of y'all, for some reason, is expecting somehow Tibbs is going to force Julius to play defense. Tibbs is in a tough spot. Some of y'all need to understand that instead of hating. Some of y'all need to get it. Tibbs is in a tough spot. He can't yell at Julius. This is the modern NBA. This is the league. He's a $100 million player. Two-time All-NBA. You can't yell at him. You can't do it. You can be private about it, but that don't mean he's going to listen to you. Do y'all understand that? So stop this. It's the coach's fault bullcrap. Stop it. Understand what you're dealing with. Tibbs in a tough spot. And it's up to the management to decide what decision they're going to make. 2189, thanks for the $5. Jules might as well not count being available with his pacing and mental game. He opens up different back doors. That's proving difficult to weld shut. Yes. See, so it's a decision. That's what we're talking about today. Decisions. That's the big decision. And it boils down, when you boil it all down, do you, Knicks Nation now, do you believe Julius's effort on defense will be improved going forward? That's really what we're talking about. If you don't, you got moves to make. If you do, you can keep him. But you got to decide. And more importantly, management has got to decide. Old dog, $5. Thank you. I get what you're saying. If he agrees that he will give effort, like you said, he's tired, then coach needs to manage. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's not how it works, bro. Okay. Let's take the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard and PG-13. From the time Leonard left San Antonio, because when Kawhi left San Antonio and went to Toronto, everybody knows you have to manage his minutes. Because why? Because he insisted. When I'm not ready to play, I'm not going to play. It wasn't the coach that said, Kawhi, we need to sit you down X number of minutes a game. No, it was Kawhi and his people that said, because this is the way the modern NBA works. It was Kawhi and his people that said, there's some games I'm not going to want to play. So sit me. And there's other games I'll be ready. Play me. That's how this works. Okay? You understand? It's not the coach. It's between the people that control the player, his peoples, and the medical staff, and the management, and the coach. They must all agree. That's how this is worked. This is the modern NBA. So that's what I'm saying. All the people talking about what Tibbs. No, it's not. This ain't high school. This ain't college. Okay? This is the league. That's how the league works. Especially now you're dealing with a guy that's all NBA and an all-star and $100 million dude. You can't talk to him any kind of way. You can't do it. Not today. No, you can't. And so stop blaming Tibbs on what Tibbs don't have control over. And if And this is what Tibbs said, but y'all listening. Tibbs said Julius wants to stay out there. What's he going to do? Sit him? And then what happens in New York? You sitting Tibbs sits Randle. What happens then, brethren? You know how crazy it's going to get out here? Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Some people just ain't catching this. They don't want to. That's how this game works. Tibbs can control Obi. He can control Deuce. He can control Grimes. All of these young dudes he can control because they ain't got that status yet. You understand? They ain't got that status. So he can control them, but not Julius. Think about Brunson. Does he create what Jude does? 21.89, thanks for $2. No, he doesn't. Brunson is steady Eddie in terms of mental game, emotional game. Steady Eddie. Okay, steady Eddie. Okay, so y'all gotta be careful about blaming Tibbs when he don't have the juice to do what y'all think he could do. Okay, he just don't. So he's in a tough spot, and this is why I say the decision is the management. So the management makes a decision. Now, this is what would happen. Let me tell you the two scenarios. Let's say the management decides we believe in Julius Randle and we're going to keep him. And we so now you're going to have Leon come out with a statement. We're looking for a big year from Julius Randle. And then you would have Tibbs follow that up, say, we're so excited that Julius is going to be in great shape. We really believe in him. That's what's going to happen if they kept him. If they traded him, you see Tibbs say, man, I'm very sad to see Julius go. I'm very sad that Julius had to leave. And I really will miss him. But, we got to move forward. That's what would happen. Okay? That's what happens. So you got two scenarios, but it's on the management to make that decision, not Tibbs. Not Tibbs. Okay? It's on the management. So now, if you decide that Julius is at his peak and he's not going to get any better and he's not going to be able to really help you move to the next level, the smart thing to do is sell high. Isn't that correct? I mean, isn't that right? So the smart thing to do is while he's all NBA, and you listen here, even right now, I think, listen, Knicks Nation, tell me, you're not going to get an all NBA player back for him. Not somebody better than him. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to get a player back that's better as far as talent-wise than Julius Randle. You're not. But you're going to get a better team player. You hear what I'm saying? You would get a better team player. Somebody that's higher IQ, that's easier to get along with. Somebody that plays both sides every night that they're on the floor. You understand? You will get a better team player. You're not going to get, nobody's going to trade you another all-NBA player. Like, you're not going to get Jimmy Butler, for example, for Julius Randle. And Miami needs a power forward, but they would never trade you Jimmy Butler for Julius Randle. They would never do it, okay? You're not going to get that. So you're looking for, again, if you're going to trade him, you're looking for fit. You're looking for fit if you're going to trade him. Now, again, like I said, I've been saying this, it's 50-50. It's up to the management. What does Leon and them think? I don't know what they think. You don't know what they think. You don't know. Okay? You're going to need a high-level team player if you're going to trade Julius Randle. High level. Kristaps Porzingis fits that bill. Mikal Bridges fits that bill. I feel like Jeremy Grant fits that bill. I feel like Pascal Siakam fits that bill. There's guys out there that are not all NBA, maybe not this year, or maybe have been in the past, that will fit the team better than Julius Randle does. Will give you consistent effort on both sides of the basketball. Okay? That's a different scenario. But that's a risk. That's a risk, right? Again, that's the management's decision. Swap the Wild Bronco for the unicorn. Thanks for the 2021. I'm with you on that. I personally think they should trade him. But I've been saying that for the last 4 years, and it ain't made no difference. I've been saying trade Julius Randle from year after year one. I didn't even want them signing him. That I wasn't even high on them. I'm gonna admit I wasn't even high when they went over there to California and signed him. I wasn't with it then. Okay, so he's never been one of my favorite players. I respect his talent. I respect Julius Randle's talent. There is no doubt he's a top rebounder, a top scorer in the NBA. Okay. Top rebounder, top scorer. You can't deny that. But I've never felt he's been a right fit for a championship. I've never felt he was a championship piece. And I didn't know about his attitude. I just felt like because of his prone to turnovers and his lack of defense, which I've been watching since he was on the Lakers, I felt like he would not be that championship piece. Maybe he could develop it, but now he's in his prime and he's still not developing a consistent level of high defensive effort. He's just not. Now, he just had surgery on his ankle. Okay, he just had surgery on his ankle. Okay, now look, in all fairness, if his ankle was hurt that bad that he needed surgery, right? Then you got to figure it affected him offensively, right? It affected him being able to move, correct? Well, then that brings up two problems. Even if his ankle was hurt, if his ankle was that hurt, he should have sat. If his ankle was hurt enough to affect him negatively on the floor, he should have sat and let Obi Toppin play. Okay? But Julius, not Tibbs, not the Don, Julius decided, I'm going to play. Okay. I seem to remember Isaiah Thomas when he was on the Detroit Pistons against the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals. I seem to remember he twisted his ankle really badly. I seem to remember they came up to him, Brett Mushberger came up to him and said, okay, you're going to be out. And he said, nope, I'm playing. And brother came on the floor limping and was balling, if you all recall. Now, they still lost that series, came back and won the next two, but he was balling because he wanted to win, period. On both sides of the ball, Mr. Isaiah Thomas, bad sprained ankle, was balling, okay? So, in the league, this is not high school. This is not college. This is the league. When you're playing for money and you step on the floor, it is presumed that you can give 100% effort or don't play. Because if you can't give 100% effort, you're going to hurt your team. Julius decided to play. He decided to play. And Tibbs, of course, acquiesced and he played. I don't care if your ankle's hurt. That ain't stopping you from diving on the floor. That ain't stopped Jimmy Butler from diving on the floor. He hurt his ankle. It ain't stop you from playing defense at the highest effort you can. It don't stop Jimmy Butler from doing that. He hurt his ankle. Giannis hurt his back. Prime mental example, stubborn, go stupid. That's right. Thank you for the $2 against 21. That's exactly right. So I'm sorry. But you decided to play. And you gave half-ass effort on defense. And your offense was limited because of your ankle. That was not in the best interest of your team. And you know what? He's deserving that criticism because he is one of our top players. Now, it's possible the Knicks, again, they keep him and they move forward with Julius Randle. It's entirely possible. I mean, we can't say that that's not possible. It's no slam dunk they're trading Julius Randle. There's at least a 50% chance they keep him as much as trade him. But if they trade him, I really like Kristaps Porzingis. So let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis for a second. Let's put out some facts about Kristaps Porzingis. He can opt out of his current deal, which I'm 100% sure he's going to do. He can opt out of his current deal, listen, on June 21st. Did y'all hear what I said? On June 21st, that is a Wednesday. That is about 3 weeks from now, he can opt out of his current deal, which 100% he's going to do. Okay? Then he becomes an unrestricted free agent, able to sign with anybody. That's facts. That's a fact. That's not hyperbole. That's straight facts. So therefore, he becomes available. Now, he could come back and sign with Washington. He could. But he becomes available. Okay? Straight facts. And in that scenario, no, he's gonna. No, people don't know what they're talking about. Margaret Edwards. That anybody that says he's not opting out, I'm just sorry. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And let me tell you why. Let's think about if it was you, right? If it was you smart lady. I respect Margaret Edwards, smart lady. Let me ask you this. So you got a guaranteed $36 million 1 year. 1 year. Okay, you got a guaranteed $36 million. Or you can opt out. And your agent tells you there's at least 3 teams willing to offer you $90 million guaranteed. What are you going to do? That's why you have an agent. So an agent's telling you, I got 3 teams ready to offer you at least $90 million. So what are you going to do? Okay. So every player leaves. The longer term money is what every player wants. Okay. The longer term money is what every player wants. So he's going to opt out of the $36 million. Anybody saying otherwise has no idea what they're talking about. He's opting out. So once he opts out, he's a smart kid, okay? And not only that, it's just the right move to do. And in fact, did you all see the interview he did last week? He said it. I think the smartest thing for me to do is opt out. He said that, actually. So he's going to opt out. So that's not even a fact, man. I mean, that's fact. He's going to opt out, okay? So that being the case, question now is, does he want to re-sign with Washington? And I don't want to disparage Washington. I mean, he might want to re-sign with Washington. I doubt it. And I'll tell you why. I doubt it. But he might. What, aside from the money, y'all, what does every NBA player worth his salt want? Aside from the money, what does every NBA player worth his salt want? Talk to me. Aside from money, assume you're going to get your money now. We know you're going to get your money. What's the next thing that they want? Donkey eater. 69, they want a ring. So let me ask you, Washington just changed the management. They went and signed Beal to $200 million, and he's 30. Kyle Kuzma is your other piece. What is the likelihood of them winning a championship in the next 4 years? What do you think? Give me a percentage. Is it 50%? Is it 20%? Is it 80%? What percentage do you think, based on what's happening now? They just got new management. What is the percentage chance of the Washington Wizards winning a chip in the next 4 years? I mean, let's be fair. I'll say 25%. 25%. Okay. So let's look at it again. What is the percentage if the unicorn comes back to New York? What's the percentage of them winning a championship? Either they don't have to trade Randle, they can trade RJ, whoever. But let's say the unicorn comes to New York. Would you say that the percentage is higher than Washington's? I would say conservatively it is. Okay, conservatively it is much higher than when in the next 2 years winning the championship. Okay, 2-3 years with the unicorn. Okay, so if you're the unicorn, you're gonna get your money either way. It don't have to be the Knicks. It could be any team. It really could be any team. But what you don't want is to be stuck on a losing team. Okay? You don't want to be stuck on a losing team. You're going to get your money now, so it's not a problem of the money. So what now? Well, how can you win? So you got a number of options. If you're Kristaps, you can go to Toronto. You can go to New York. You can go to San Antonio. They're not ready to win. But I'm talking about teams that are just on the cusp of maybe winning. You can go to Chicago. You can go anywhere you want. But you're probably not coming back to Washington. 21, I think that scenario is delicate. The Wizards would have to push, sign, and trade. Leon would have to do it at a fair price. We go further, prayer if DC goes to first round. Yeah, I don't know. But this is the thing. If Kristaps opts out on June 21st, he's unrestricted. He can leave Washington with nothing. They don't get nothing. So they really don't have no leverage. Washington has no leverage here, like zero. Washington has no leverage. KP has all the leverage. He has all the leverage. Okay? He has all the leverage. Okay? So Washington has absolutely no leverage. Zero. Okay? Zero. So he could walk away and get nothing. They could get nothing. Okay? That's the real. Okay? I'm not, again, we're spitting facts here. We're not talking about hyperbole. As of June 21st, he opts out, they could get nothing. Okay? Right. I don't think I'm agreeing with you, George. He probably doesn't want to burn bridges, but he has the power. So in other words, Washington can't complain about what they might get because KP has the power. Okay? So that's something to keep an eye on. That's something to keep an eye on. Okay? Though I just spit facts you. What no. Again, the Knicks don't have to trade Julius Randle, but they have to move money. You're hearing me? I'm assuming KP is in the $30 million range. You notice, Miss Edwards, I didn't even acknowledge that. There's some things that are just too dumb to even something. Like, in other words, some people using that serious opioid problem. Please get some help for that. You understand? Please get some help for the opioid problem. And you having visions of leprechauns? Please, no little green men in the Madison Square Garden. I'm sorry, but no, that's not going to happen. So let's move forward, okay? We can't. There's some things you just can't take seriously. You just can't. Okay. But the Knicks, in order to sign anybody in the $30 million range, they need to move some money off the books. Now, you got Derrick Rose coming off the books. Yeah, I know they did come on. You got Derrick Rose coming off. Some people give their ages away. Like whoever said it's got to be 15 years old and they got to be constantly on NBA 2K. Because there's no way you would say that. Okay, 21 heads. DC going to eat Frenchies, fries, and juice at the table. I don't know, but you got to move money. Now, let's talk about the money. KP is going to be about 30 million. So you're going to have 19 million of Fournier and 50 if you got to trade him. And you got 15 million and a half of D Rose, which is just going to come off the books. So that right there is about 35 million, give or take, about 35 million. So thanks for the $10, Lewis. Look, if you're the Knicks, do you sell on Randle now or do you take another chance? We're talking about that right now, Lewis. Look, that's exactly what we're talking about. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. So so you have 35 million and you can get kind of mix that a little bit. So you could theoretically move Fournier and, Derrick Rose is going to expire, in a couple of weeks. So that's out. And so you get that 34 million, you have some money, but then remember you have RJ's money kicking in this coming season. So you need to move some more. You need to move another 20 million, 25 million. Okay. That's what you need to move. And so you got options to move 25 million. You got RJ, basically, and Julius. Those are your $25 million. No, you could say move Obi, but Obi's about 7 or 8 million. That's not enough. You could say move IQ, even if you sign and traded IQ. That his money wouldn't kick in until the following season, 24, 25. So you really got two choices. It's going to either be Julius or it's going to be RJ if you're going to make a move. If you're going to make a move. Okay? That's it. You really only have those two choices. Logically speaking, you're not going to move both. No, you're not going to do that. See, don't get carried away. You're going to move one. You want You want the continuity and the continued development of your program. So you don't just sweep out your number 2 or number 3 draft pick. You don't do that unless you're getting something, right? So no, you got to decide. You're going to move Julius or you're going to move RJ. That's your decision right there. That's really what it comes down to. It all moves this summer. You're going to get about the $15.5 million from D Rose. You're going to move Fournier, whether you're going to attach assets to him to move him or what, you're going to move him. So now you got to decide, is it RJ or is it Julius? And it could really go either way. You can make an argument either way. Okay. You can make an argument either way. Either way, you can make an argument. So I would rather move if it was me, I want to keep RJ because I believe in RJ's future. I believe in RJ's future in terms of development. I believe in his future in terms of a championship piece. I believe in his future, okay? Overall, I believe in this kid's future. That's why I would keep him. But, yeah, and his upside, exactly. I believe in it. So I would keep him. I don't think Julius has much more upside to go. I don't believe he's going to give consistent effort on defense. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I believe he'll do it in spurts like he always does. And he'll try to play all the game like he always does. And he'll keep New York hamstrung. I believe that. So I think, in my view, you got to move Randle. But I don't know if the Knicks management says that. See, there's a difference between what you and I think, Knicks Nation, and what Leon Rose thinks. Okay? Well, this is the thing. Julius is going to be 29, I think, this December or November. He's going to be 29. So he's not 30 yet. He's going to be 29. He's still in his prime. So this is the time. He's at his highest point. He's just made his second All-NBA team. He's at his highest point. Now, you're not going to get Deni Avdija. You can forget it. Why? What kind of stupidity would you have to be as a GM to send Deni Avdija for Julius? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? He's one of your best young players. You would never do that. You're building future with Deni Avdija. You're keeping him. And what's the other kid from Gonzaga? What's the kid's name from Gonzaga? You're keeping them. You're not moving them at all. Okay? Some people, will you please think, both sides of this thing? There's no way. You can say, we're going to take Deni Avdija off the shelf, and we'll just take this guy off the shelf, and we'll just add him. You cannot, Kispert. You're not going to do that. You're going to keep Kispert. You're going to keep Avdija, and you're building around them. Okay? That's what you're doing if you're Washington. That's just common sense. So you forget the Avdija. So what you're hoping for is Kristaps Porzingis. No, we don't want Kyle Kuzma either because he just played his butt off because he's in a contract year. I don't trust him. Okay? Or not. All right. So that's a huge decision that has to be made with Julius Randle. Now, Emmanuel quickly. That's another decision. See, it's not a big decision because you don't have to do anything this summer with Emmanuel quickly, but you have to understand two things. He wants to start, and he'll never start in New York as long as Jalen Brunson is the point guard. You're not going to start him, okay? Which is another reason anybody still talking about Dame Dollar or Trae Young or any other point guard or Donovan Mitchell, stop wasting your time. Stop bringing up foolishness. It's not going to happen. It won't work. You're not going to play 2 point guards in the backcourt. Okay? You're not doing it. Okay? Never mind how much it would cost. You're not doing it. So once you sign Jalen Brunson, that's your guy. Can't look back. That's your guy for 4 years. Now 3 more years. That's your guy. Don't look back. That's who you got. Jalen Brunson's your point guard. Move forward. Okay? Yeah. So it's not going to happen. Right? So, but IQ wants to be a starter, number one. He wants to be a starter. So therefore, he may, and he does not, he has stated this very plainly. He does not want to be a 6-man. He does not want to be. In fact, he said, I don't want everybody to think that's all I am is a 6-man. Am I the only one that heard him say that? Or did y'all see that? He not only wants to start, he's telling everybody, I don't want everybody to think that I'm only a 6-man. He said that during the interview. I forgot who the interview was with. It was just a few weeks ago. He said in the interview, I don't want everybody to think I'm only a 6-man. Yeah, I heard that. Son from Brooklyn. Did you hear that? So here's what he said. He said, I don't want everybody to think I'm. He said, when I came in the league, everybody was comparing me to, and he named a couple of guys. I think he named Jamal Crawford. He named a couple of guys. And he said, that's nice. He said, that's nice. But he said, I don't want everybody to think that's all I am as a six man. Yeah, it was with Ahmad Rashad. Thank you, Gumby. That's exactly right. Thank you, Gumby. That's exactly right. So he said, I don't want everybody to think that's all I am as a six man. So he wants to start and he wants to prove that he's not just a six man. What does that translate to? I want my own team to run. That's basically what he said. I want to run my own team. Now, again, it's entirely possible that he signs a contract and stays with the Knicks and reconciles himself for the betterment of the team to stay a six man. He could do that. I don't think he's going to do that, though. I don't think so. So with that in mind, if you're the Knicks, your decision is this. Do you bring Quickly back and try to win with him next year, as a six man? Because he can't decide to leave. The Knicks want to keep him. Or do you take advantage of the fact that he wants to start? And listen, if you don't understand that teams are calling about him, I'm not even in the front office. I can tell you that. Teams are going to be calling about Emmanuel Quickly. A lot of teams are going to be calling about Emmanuel Quickly. Okay, so now you must decide, if you're Knicks management, do I maximize the what everybody wants now? Everybody wants him. Do I maximize that and get what I can for him now? Or do I wait and try to run him back one more year against his will and let him be the sixth man? What do you do? That's what you got to decide. Now, all of that depends on what you're getting for him. Okay, what you're getting from him. It depends. Now, all of y'all talking about people like a Norman Powell or people like Dante DiVincenzo. I am not with that. And I'm just going to make it plain and straight with y'all. I'm Deuce Hive. I'm not bringing in another guy instead of Quickly to take minutes from my boy Dog Deuce. I'm just not doing it. Because the next guy in the total poll is Deuce. So if I move Quickly, I want Deuce up in that rotation. Okay? I'm not looking to get Dante DiVincenzo unless I feel that Dante DiVincenzo brings Mobb Deep on such a high level that I got to go get him. And I don't think he does. I'm not saying Dante DiVincenzo is not good. I'm not saying Norman Powell is not good. They're good. But I am not trading for anybody that takes minutes from my guy Deuce. And let me tell you why that would be significant. There's another decision. The Knicks must decide. Now, it's a no-brainer. They're going to exercise. There's no chance, but they're going to exercise Deuce's $1.88 million, basically $1.9 million team option. There is no doubt they're going to do that. There's no doubt they're going to do that. So that's a given. So now they got this guy that's a very high-level defender, can guard 4 positions, and you got him on a less than $2 million contract. It's a no-brainer. You're keeping that. So now the question is, are you going to keep it and keep him another year as a 10th guy, which is basically what he is right now? He's a 10th guy. 10th guy is not really a rotation guy unless somebody gets hurt. Tibbs plays 9 guys. So if you're going to lose IQ, are you moving Deuce up? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. I happen to believe in the kid. I know he can play. And again, DiVincenzo is going to cost you more than $1.9 million, which is what Deuce is going to cost you. So I'm not into DiVincenzo or Norman Powell or any of these guys that are going to take Deuce's spot on the rotation. They're going to re-sign Josh Hart. Now, if you're telling me you would let Josh Hart go and get DiVincenzo, I can half understand that, though I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that either. But that's all. I'm not taking Hart and DiVincenzo and casting Deuce away at $1.9 million. It just doesn't even make financial sense. Okay? It doesn't even make financial sense. Okay? All right, John. So I'm going to not go for these guys. Some of y'all are talking about DiVincenzo, Yuta, whoever, whatever. I'm keeping my Mobb Deep. What I'm doing now, if I can bring Mitch Rob to Mobb Deep by adding a KP. If you wanted to keep, let's say you wanted to keep Julius Randle and you wanted to add KP, okay, I bring Mitch Rob to Mobb Deep. Oh man, that is would be nice. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So other than that, I'm not trying to get Dante DiVincenzo or whatever, any other bench piece that you think you're all excited about. I'm not doing it. So that's that. But Obi is probably the easiest of all decisions to make. Obi is going to also be in demand, but you don't have to do anything with Obi. You can keep Obi it's a sad thing that they would play him 15 minutes a game this coming season. But if you're the Knicks, Obi's not going to complain, and you can keep him and deal with him next year. Okay, that's an easy decision to me. You keep Obi and you deal with him next year. You got talent, you got starter talent right there on the bench. For Obi, that sucks. But for the Knicks management, he can't do nothing about it, and he ain't gonna cry about it. And you got to deal with him next year. So I'm not worried about him. IQ is more pressing. Okay, because everybody, there's blood in the water, and all the NBA teams know this guy wants to start, and they all know that he'll leave, sign an extension, and start. So, and then the Knicks want to bring in somebody else. So yeah, Obi does want to start, but he's not going to be as demonstrative about it as IQ might. Okay, he's not. Okay, and not only that, if of the two players, Obi and IQ, I feel like Obi would want to stay in New York. Even if he doesn't start, if he gets more minutes, he'll stay in New York. So, for example, if you traded Julius Randle, you can know right now KP is going to give you 60 games. That's 22 games. Obi's going to start. And KP's not going to play 35 minutes a game. So now you're going to get some more minutes for Obi. Okay. So Obi may not start in that scenario, but he's going to get a ton more minutes than he would get, if Julius stays. So that's another decision you have to make. And this comes down to this: if you're Knicks brass, do you believe in the players that you drafted? Do you believe in the guys you drafted? Do you believe in Obi Toppin, who you picked number 8 as your first pick, Leon Rose? Do you believe in him? Okay, you have to make that decision. Do you? Do you believe he can be a starter in the NBA? You drafted him. Do you believe he could be a starter in the NBA? You have to decide that. That's a decision you have to make. Okay? That's the decision. I happen to believe, I've been saying, I believe Obi Toppin's a starter in the NBA. I believe that it can be just as good with him at the 4 as with Randle at the 4. I believe that. Okay, I do. So I would keep him and I would trade Julius, but that's just me. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Does Leon believe in him? Does Leon believe in him? We'll see. Okay, we'll see. Like, we know they believe in RJ. We know they believe in Grimes, right? We'll see. Obi? Question mark. We're going to see. They could trade him. He could be part of a package or not. Okay, so we talked about this. Aside from Pascal Siakam and KP and Grant, and look here. If Portland decides to blow it up, which is really what they should do, they should really just try to trade Dame Dollar and blow this thing up. They got a top pick. They got beautiful young players in Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe. So they really need to just blow this up and go forward, right? So then that means they're going to let Jeremy Grant go to another team, unrestricted free agent, right? So that's the case. You got to decide, Jeremy has to decide where he's going to sign. That's another one, and in Jeremy Grant's case, I mean, let's be fair and let's be real about it. If you're Portland and you're rebuilding, who do you want? 29-year-old Julius Randle or 23-year-old RJ Barrett to go with your young core of Simons and Shaedon Sharpe? Who do you want? Of course, you're going to want RJ Barrett, right? You're going to want RJ Barrett. Hey, Glenn Constantine, nice to see you, man. So that's what you're going to want, period. See? So if you're Portland, you'll be asking for a sign and trade for RJ Barrett, not Julius Randle. You'll be asking for RJ Barrett and Jeremy Grant. That's what you'll be asking for, okay? And I want to tell you, as much as I love RJ and I don't want to trade him, the Knicks will be a better team next season with that move. They would be a better team with that move. They would be, okay? you open up, the defense would be a lot better, Okay. So Evan, OB, no, I would send Washington. To me, if I'm Washington, again, if you are Washington, what would you like? If you are Washington, what would you like? Washington's top need since they lost John Wall has been point guard. That's been they're like the Knicks were before we just got Jalen Brunson. So Washington's top need is point guard. So the sign trade would be centered around Emmanuel quickly. If I'm Washington, I would center it around Emmanuel quickly, and then I'd make the money work with other players, namely Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein, okay, and I'd make the money work around that, or maybe a Julius Randle. But that's IQ would be my centerpiece if I'm Washington, because now you're going to have IQ with Bradley Beal and Denny Avdija. I mean, that would be really nice. And then you got to probably try to re-sign Kyle Kuzma. And then you got Daniel Gafford, another young piece. So, but McBride is staying. Just in terms of money, McBride's not going anywhere. So y'all can stop with the McBride. Not just because I'm deuce high, but just make common sense. They're not going to let a guy that can play that level of defense go for under $2 million. It's not going to happen, okay? To sign somebody that's less defensive, like DiVincenzo, for more money. It's not going to happen, okay? So, no, they're going to keep McBride at least through this season. So that's a done deal. But they got to move money to get a bigger player here, okay? You got to move money. So, yes, I'm saying if I'm Washington, IQ would be the centerpiece of that deal. And I would make IQ my point guard if I'm Washington. Yeah, exactly. Deuce, I'm telling you, you got to, crap will get off the pot with Deuce McBride. So you got to move him up into the rotation this year. He's got to get rotation minutes, or you just wasted, 3 years of a guy that can play. And he's going to go someplace else and play, period. Okay, he's going to go someplace else and play. That's it. And no, we don't need to sign Schroeder. We're trying to make room, not continue the constipation. We don't need to sign nobody else. We got enough guys. What we need is a 9-man rotation. You'd have, if IQ was traded, you'd have Obi, you'd probably have Mitch Robb, you'd have Jay Hart, and you'd have Deuce. That's your bench. That's your 9-man rotation. 10 guys do not play. So no, we don't need Schroeder, and we don't need nobody else. Okay, that's it. We move forward like that. It's a 9-man rotation. Some of y'all just refuse to receive that, but Tibbs plays 9 guys. He does. The 10th guy plays less than 10 minutes, so it's really not guy. That's what Deuce was doing this past 2 seasons, right? So he plays, less than 10 minutes unless somebody's hurt. So that's it. Yeah, RJ is definitely more of a team player than Randle. RJ is definitely on every level a better team player than Julius Randle is. He's more of a team player. He's not as accomplished or polished talent-wise as Julius Randle. He's not, but he got more upside than Julius Randle does, for sure. Okay, so you got to decide what you want to do. You got to decide what you want to do. That's really what it comes out. Y'all got, the management got to decide what they want to do. Okay, so we'll see. This is going to be very interesting. This is Randle, IQ, Deuce, and Obi. Deuce and Obi are pretty easy, but Randle and IQ are that's going to be interesting because of the money. You got to move one of them. Unless you just go run the whole thing back, and you could do that. There's certain things we know. The Knicks are going to re-sign Josh Hart. That's going to happen. Okay, that's going to happen. But I hear you picks for Timmy, but let's be real. I think you and I both understand. Am I wrong? I'm not talking for you, but they're going to re-sign Josh Hart. That's going to happen. Okay, so the question is how much that's going to cost, but they're going to re-sign him. Okay, and because of that, you may have to move some money. Okay, you're going to have to move some money, period. Somebody's got to be moved. You can't just keep the money that you got and think you're going to sign people. It's not going to happen like that. So you're going to move, and it comes down to RJ or Julius, that $25 to $30 million move. You're going to get D Rose's money. You're going to get Fournier when you move him. You may have to attach a pick to move him, but you're going to move him. And so what you're going to do, you got to decide what you're going to do. Okay, because you're going to re-sign Josh Hart. Your RJ money starts coming into effect this year, and you're going to want to add a $30 million player, $25, $30 million player. Somebody say, well, I would just give KP 25 million. Yeah, sure you would. Everybody would. But that's not what it's going to cost. Realistically, 30 million is going to be the price. That's what it's going to cost you to get KP. That's what it actually will cost you to get Grant. 30 million is the number, y'all. You're not going to get these guys cheap. IQ might sign for 20 million. You might get him for 20, 25 million, but you're not getting a veteran polished player like a Grant or a KP or Siakam for anything less than 30 million. That's just the way the world is right now. You might, and I mean might, be able to get OG Anunoby for less than 30 million, but them fools asking for crazy money for him too. So I don't know, some of y'all talking this 20, 25 million, you're not getting KP or Grant for that. You're not getting that. That's not going to happen. So you got to decide what you're going to do. Now, IQ is a question. That's a decision. Okay. He wants to start. He wants to start and prove he's more than a sixth man. IQ happens to be from the DMV. Y'all realize that? No, DiVincenzo, we've already talked about that. You behind. Stop being like mustard and ketchup. Okay? No. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Burks would be easy, but you got to make some moves to get Burks. Burks is mid-level exception money. And that's nice mid-level exception money, but you got to make some moves to get that. And you got to decide what you're going to do with some bench pieces. I would get Burks if I wasn't re-signing Josh Hart. Tyon Reed, no, you can stop swinging from his nutsack. We're not talking about trying to get rid of IQ. We're trying to be realistic. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be realistic. IQ wants to start. Maybe you haven't heard it, but he wants to start. And maybe you don't understand. As long as you have this guy named Jalen Brunson starting, Emmanuel quickly will not start. So that's what we're talking about. That's the real. Deal with that. Anyway, thank you, Walter Blackman. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's what we got to decide. What y'all want to do. Stop whining and talk about what you want to do. Okay? That's the Knicks got to make that decision. No, it doesn't work like that, Lord Sincere. The Burks signing, you have to remove first both. You have D Rose. Don't forget, Lord Sincere, RJ's contract kicks in this year. You're talking about re-signing Josh Hart. So that money's gone. And then you got, yeah, I guess I am Tyon Reed, so watch it. Then you got to clear money. So if you want to have, you can't just say, I'm going to sign with this money. It doesn't work like that. You already used that money. You already used it. Yeah. So you got to decide what you're going to do. You could sign, this is what I'm saying. Once you move Fournier, you could sign Burks for the mid-level exception, which is 11 million and change. You could do that. You can give Burks 2 years, 22 million. You could do that. And I believe Burks would take that. So you can give Burks 2 years, 22 million, and that's the mid-level exception. Doesn't count. That's outside the cap. Yeah, so you got to decide. And Grant Williams for who? Where's Grant Williams going to play? In front of who? In front of Obi? No. In front of Josh Hart? No. In front of Emmanuel Quickly? No. In front of Hartenstein? No. So where exactly is Grant Williams going to play? You want Grant Williams project? Where is he going to play? Where exactly would he be playing? Nas Reed, y'all need to get off that tip. No. Where is he going to play? Again, please tell me, where are these players going to play that you guys are throwing out there? Where are they going to play? Backup Obi? Obi don't need no backup. So if you're backing up Obi, you must start Obi, right? So if you're backing up Obi, what are you going to do with Hartenstein? What are you going to do with Jericho Sims? What are you going to do with Josh Hart? What are you going to do with IQ? Backing up Obi where? Again, and so if you're going to tell me you're going to trade Julius Randle or RJ Barrett so you can sign Grant Williams, are you crazy? Seriously. Are you crazy? See, people throwing names out there. You don't even think about where these guys are going to play. You can't just throw them on the team. Where are they going to play? Oh, All right, Joe. I'm gonna act like you didn't say it. I like you too much, Joe. I'm not gonna, no, Joe. No. No, you can't have Kristaps and Grant. You don't have enough money. So you can pick one. See, that some of y'all getting greedy. You can't pick. You can't have both of them. You don't want to overhaul your team. You're just talking about tweaking it. So you're only going to get one guy. Who is that guy? You're going to get one guy. Who is that guy? Okay, who? I don't care about that. I'm not trading Randle for Grant Williams. I'm just not doing it. No way. I don't care. Yeah, you're only going to get one guy. You can't get two. You're not going to get Siakam and OG. You're not going to get Grant Williams. You're not going to get Jeremy Grant and KP. You got to decide which one you want. You know, which one do you want? You're not going to get all of it. You don't have the money for all of it. Okay? You don't have the money for all of it. I don't care if they're over 27 years old. Can they ball? Will they help us in the playoffs? Okay? That's what you want to know. Can they ball? Can they help you in the playoffs? That's what you want to know. Okay? Can they? Jeremy can. KP can. Siakam can. And even to a degree, OG can, but I just don't like the price they're throwing out there for him. They really overpricing OG Anunoby. I'm sorry. But no. Yes, Burks can. Exactly. But you have to move somebody, right? So who you moving? You're not going to re-sign Josh Hart then. I don't know. 2189. Could we try to ship Frenchie to San Antonio? We could ship Frenchie any place we can get rid of $19 million and not bring any money back. That's all I'm saying. If we can make him part of a package for KP or part of a package for Jeremy Grant or part of a package for Siakam, do it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say, Jay Snipper. It looks like to me one of the sure things we know for multiple reasons is Josh Hart is coming back to the Knicks. It's just a question of what the price is going to be. So you're going to have to make some moves to make some money up here. And that's what I'm saying to you. That's why we're calling this episode Decisions, because you're going to have to make some decisions to make some money work. Okay? No, Daryl Smith, that's fantasy. That's Fantasy Island. You're not going to get that fantasy. So seriously, Daryl Smith, your GM of the Washington Wizards, you want D Rose and Fournier. First of all, you can't trade D Rose because he's going to be unrestricted free agent. So forget that. Second of all, you're telling me you're going to trade that for Kristaps Porzingis and you think you're not going to get fired? Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Again, what are y'all talking about? Come on, man. Maxi's better. I love IQ, but Maxi's better. There's no doubt. Tyrese Maxi's better. No doubt. Okay. No doubt. Yeah, before y'all start throwing out names, please figure out where are these guys going to play? How are the Knicks going to pay for them? Okay, this ain't NBA 2K. Stop just putting two names together and thinking it works. How is this going to work? Where's the money coming from? Who are you moving? Who's going to sit so that your new guy could play? Because you're only going to play 9 guys. So who's going to sit so your new guy can play? And stop trying to replace 4 and 5 guys out of the rotation. We're talking about tweaking, not overhauling, okay? Somebody making all these elaborate trades. No. I'm telling you, man, they are, Diamond. I mean, seriously. Ooh, Scott Morgan, the 50-piece. Thank you for the $50, Scott Morgan. But I'm wondering, come on, you're throwing out these names, and I'm like, what? For where? See, that's why I can't take some of y'all seriously, man. I just can't. Anybody talking about fire Tibbs, I can't take you seriously. We're into a rebuild. We're into the 4th year now. We're moving in the right direction. We just finished a year where we won the first round, and you're talking about firing the coach. What is wrong with some of y'all? Do you realize that Phoenix, Milwaukee, and Philly all going to take a struggle a little bit to get back to where they were because they just had to reshuffle their coaches? That's going to be difficult. Okay? You don't want to mess that stuff up, I'm saying. So Yeah, Maxey started. He did have more playing time than IQ. So yeah, his stats would be better. But to me, he's just a better player. Actually, I wanted Maxey coming out of college. I liked IQ, but I wanted Maxey. I was kind of disappointed when the Knicks didn't pick Tyrese Maxey. I was kind of disappointed. Maxey's better. He's just a bad dude, man. Maxey's a bad dude. Yeah, I'd be okay with running back, Scott. I would. I mean, I can understand that. That's the safe way to do it. Running back. Okay. That's the safe way to go. You're going to get your whole squad back, running back. You don't have to do anything. Run it right back. Okay. You're just adding the money from you're going to trade. You're losing D Rose and you're trading for sure. They're going to trade Fournier. So you're going to save that money. You're going to add now Josh Hart's money. And so run it back. You could definitely run it back. There's no doubt you can run it back. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Michael Drake. You could definitely run it back. You could do that. And I wouldn't jump off any bridges if they decide to run it back. I'd rather, because to me, I'm feeling like you have a rare opportunity to get a rare talent right now. And I feel like I'm really high on KP improving the Knicks in terms of wins. That's what we're talking about, getting wins. I'm very high on that happening. And so I would love for them to take advantage of this. This is tell me now. I mean, let's say, just take, whether you like or don't like Kristaps Porzingis. His contractual situation, right? Just his contractual situation makes him available. That's all I'm saying to you. You don't always get that. You're not always going to get a guy that good that's going to be available, that you could just sign. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I happen to think he's a really high-level talent. I thought that before he even came to Knicks. Yes, he's skinny. Yes, he doesn't play 82 games. Yes, he's been hurt. I understand all that. But I'm telling you, he turned the corner. I'm telling you, he turned the corner. If I can get him for 60 games, see, he wouldn't complain if they said, listen, KP, we just need you to play 60 games. We're going to sit you from time to time. We're going to manage you. He's not going to complain. He's not going to say, I must be on the floor. No, you're going to start Obi. See, there you go. I mean, man, I'm saying, man. Career-wise, I don't know. With Maxey and IQ, I don't know. I really think IQ could be an all-star. So I don't know. Both of them could be all-stars. I really think if IQ gets to run his own team, that team's going to end up being a winning team before he's all done. Because that's the type of impact I feel like Emmanuel quickly will have on a team. So whether they're going to be better, I don't know. Skrilla, I don't know, because I don't know. But both of them are good, man. I mean, right now, like I said, if IQ gets to run the Washington Wizards, he's going to make them a good team. He just is, because he's a winning player. I always felt like Emmanuel Quickly's a winning chip. He is. He really is a championship piece. They got to build around him, and they would have a really good start with Chris Burt and Denny Avdiva and him. They really would have a good start. And Gafford's only like 24, so they would really have a good foundation right there. That's why I say it makes sense to me. All right, D Coolest, you got to expand your mind a little bit. KP was 19 when he came to the Knicks. He wasn't as mature as either a man or a basketball player as he is now. That's why it makes sense. He's a different man now. You have to understand, you don't just look at it that he was there 6 years ago and he's coming back and it's the same guy. It's not the same guy. It's an accomplished guy that knows the game better, that's much more mature, that plays the game the right way, that would make your team better because he makes everybody around him better. And he's played with Brunson before at a very high level. So all of that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. 21.89, $5. Some of y'all question KP's availability, but not Juice mental availability. One gives Obi more minutes, the other eating up minutes. That's, to me, is very plain like that. 21.89. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. You don't see what happening, D Coolest, them getting him or him being successful on the Knicks. There's a possibility they don't get him. I agree. It's 50-50. They may not get KP. I agree with that. But if they did, they're going to be better. I have no doubt about that. If they get KP, the Knicks are going to be better. They're going to be a better team. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. I have 100% certainty about that. If they get him, they're top 4 in the East. They really are. If they get him, they're top 4, top 3 in the East. That's how good they would be with KP in that lineup, man. Forget it. Yeah. So, and it's so easy. I mean, he's unrestricted, man. So they may not do it, but we'll see. I like it. I like it a lot because I see this kid's talent. I see his fit. You know, put it this way. Nobody would have to tell, you would never be yelling about KP missing an open man. You would never be yelling about KP making that extra pass. You would never be yelling at KP throwing a dumb pass. You would never be yelling at KP not trying on defense. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You'd be mad that he might miss 22 games, and some of y'all would definitely be tripping behind that. I wouldn't, but you would never be worried about his mental state. You would never be worried about him making a bad basketball play. He's smart. He knows how to play the game on a high level the right way. And you bring him with oh man, please. Or that's right. You wouldn't have to worry about KP slapping somebody's laptop, being pulled off a referee. You wouldn't have to worry about that. And you're still going to get 24 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 2 blocks a game. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get from him. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. Come on now. Think a little bit because that's right there. And it's available. It's available. That's all I'm saying. See, some of you talking about Kawhi. I don't think Kawhi wants New York. His uncle may want New York for him, but he may not want New York. And we may not want him with all of that. Oh, we got to talk about, we won't be playing Kawhi Leonard 60 games. You be playing Kawhi Leonard 50 games and hoping he'd be ready for the playoffs. That's what you do with Kawhi Leonard. So I don't know about that either. See, so, but you know what I'm saying, you know, but you're talking about, and then some people yelling about, let's go get Giannis. Let's go sign Giannis. And then somebody talk about, let's go sign Cat and pay him the $60 million. Jets New York, thanks for the $2 fact, man. Thank you, man. Come on, man. Y'all, some of y'all really, come on, man. Stop it. Oh my God. But this guy, KP, has played in New York. You know he can handle New York. He's 27, going on 28, mature in his prime, ready to step in and play this ball, man. Okay, that's all I'm saying. He may not come, though. I just want to say this. I want to make it plain again. He may decide to stay in Washington. He may decide to go to another team, but he's available. That's all I'm saying. 2189. We also went over this. KP doesn't have to be muscles, right? He got blockness, Mitch Ra owning the bats. He doesn't have to go hard. That's right. He's much smarter. Anyway, we're going to see in just a couple of weeks. We're going to see in just a couple of weeks because he's going to opt out. On June 21st, you're going to see it. I'm going to tell you right now, KP is opting out. He is definitely opting out of his contract. Right now, he's going to do it, okay? The 21st of June, that's done. The 22nd of June is the draft. The July 1st is free agency. And brethren, it's going to be on. And let me tell you what. Even if KP decides to re-sign with Washington, he's going to listen to the Knicks. Did y'all hear what I said? Just because we know how the Knicks management operates. So even if he decides to sign somewhere else, I'm going to tell you what, he's going to have a meeting. His people going to meet with Knicks management people and the Don and them. They're going to talk. It's not going to be at 12:01 on July 1st, KP re-signs with Washington. It's not going to be that quick. I'm going to tell you right now. He's going to listen to what other teams have to say, including the Knicks. He's going to listen to what they have to say. And brethren, all I'm saying to you is we got a shot. Is it slam dunk? No, even though it makes all the sense in the world. But I'm telling you, we got a shot. That's all I'm saying. We got a shot. Yes, we need Grimes to definitely get. I want to see Grimes get at least 15 shots a game next year. 12 would be realistic, but let's get that every game. He's got to get more shots. He's got to get more touches. If he does, the Knicks are going to be really good offensively. I'm telling y'all, let Grimes be that third option. and you'll be really happy you made that move because he's good enough. I'm telling you, he's Allen Houston 2.0, but he's better on defense. That's all I'm saying to you. John Mark, thanks for the $5. What's more realistic, KP, Grant, or Cat? KP is the most realistic, I think. Grant is realistic because he's also unrestricted, but I don't know if he's worth $30 million, and that's what it's going to cost you for Grant, $30 million. Cat, forget it. No, they're not going. Cat is not even in the conversation. He's not even something we need to discuss. So yeah, it's either KP or Grant as far as realistic, because they're both unrestricted. Okay, okay, let's do a poll. What's the poll? All right, let's do this. Let's do a poll. It's a good idea, Glenn. Glenn, you always come up with good ideas. Who do you want? I'm going to do 2 polls. I'm not even going to, this is one, I'm going to do 2 polls. 2 polls. Here's the first poll. Ready? Here's the poll. You ready? Here's the first poll. Who do you want the Knicks to trade? Randle or RJ? You can only pick one. I noticed I didn't say other. You can only pick one. Who do you want the Knicks to trade? Randle or RJ? You can only pick one. Who would you pick? They got to trade one of those 2 guys to make room for a new guy. Who would you pick? Okay. Who would you pick? RJ or Randle? Who would you pick? James Harris says, that's easy. Okay. How many you got? I mean, we have 55 votes. 5% say trade RJ. 95%, man. 95% of y'all saying Randle. I tend to agree with the Randle sentiment. I do agree with that. I am also keeping RJ in that scenario. I'm keeping RJ. Well, people making a big deal out of that, but I agree with your sentiment. 670 votes, and it's 94% to 6 to trade Julius Randle in that scenario. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. I'm going to end this poll and start another one. Here's another poll. Blair, you crazy. Here's another poll. All right. Who do you want the Knicks to sign this summer? All right. I'm going to add a third option to this one. KP, Jeremy, or keep. I kind of know the answer to this, but let's see. Here we go. Who do you want the Knicks to sign this summer? KP, Jeremy Grant, or just keep Randle? Who do you want the Knicks to sign this summer? This is going to be interesting. Man, so far, no keep Randles. This kind of goes with, what you guys said in the last one, where you say you'd rather trade Randle than RJ. So if we say we're going to either get KP, we're going to sign Jeremy Grant, or we're going to keep Julius Randle. So far, there's 64 votes. 88% say get KP, or 87. Let's keep this up because it's dropped a little bit. 9% say Jeremy Grant. 4% say keep Randle. Ooh, Jeremy catching up now. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I love the coming home angle to Jets New York. That is a sweet side angle to this thing, I have to say. KP gets the non-ace of spade. So 82% of y'all are with KP, 12% are with Jeremy, and 6. I'm going to wait till it gets to 100 votes because that will give us hey, Chris Hauser, maybe you should give him the TV you got, the surround sound HD TV compatible. Maybe that will help him out. 80% say KP, Jeremy 12, Randle 8, 91 votes so far. It looks like everybody's mostly the big one is KP. I'm totally with that. Although KP is fluctuating between 80% and 79%, but it still looks like KP with Jeremy a distant second, and Randle, everybody wants to get rid of Randle. HM Money, that's the problem, brother. You come up with a first step that makes kind of sense. Okay, sign Grant, trade Obi, but then you're talking Duarte. Duarte didn't have a good season. The risk with getting an older guy like that is that he turns into a pumpkin on you. You don't want Duarte, believe me. So no, and especially if you're going to re-sign Josh Hart, you got no room to play Duarte, except you're going to play him in Obi's spot, and I think Obi's a better player. Period. End of story. So. No, but that'd be a steal for Indiana if you did that. That'd be a steal for Indiana. Yeah, we have Grimes. We good. Yep, I agree. So 103 votes, 81% for KP, 12% for Jeremy Grant, 7% for Randle. Okay, so that's what most of you guys, most of the Knicks Nation is into moving Randle. I am too. I'm not going to say that I am too. There's no brainer there. But yeah, so we'll see. But we'll see if Knicks Management. I'm telling you, if they get in a room together, KP's people and Don and them, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Those who want Randle can fit them in 4 dozen irreconcilable. You're wrong. 2189. You're wrong. That's wrong, man. Don't we mess with Gumby like that. Gumby is really, if I may say, he is torn. He loves Julius Randle. He really is president of Julius Randle Hive. But we've all seen there have been times when he's gotten so angry at Julius that he said, I'm tired of him, Raw. I'm tired of him. Send him out. There's been times, Gumby, you have said that, right? So you have a love-hate relationship with Julius Randle. I think Gumby does. I think he's got a love-hate relationship with Ju. Like there's sometimes, he's usually president of the Julius Randle Hive. He just is. I've never seen anybody as high on Julius Randle as Gumby is. I've never seen anybody that high. But then there's sometimes, Gumby, you admit it, and you say, man, I'm tired of this guy. Get traded him. I don't care what we get from him. Give him something. He's gotten you pissed off enough so that you've done that sometimes. I think you have to agree, right? I mean, I'm not making that up, right? Right, Gumby? I'm not making that up. You've done that, right? I think we all agree, right? So he's got this love-hate, relationship with Randle. And you know what? A lot of Knicks Nation is in that same boat that he is. A lot of Knicks Nation is in there. Yeah, a lot of Knicks Nation is in that boat. Love, hate with Julius Randle. It's definitely true. Julius is probably the most polarizing player on the Knicks. And that's saying something because Nick got some polarizing players. Like RJ's polarizing. But Julius is the most polarizing player on the Knicks. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Miguel P, thanks for the $5 based on KP's health profile and JR's current value, lower than it should be. You may want to keep JR if you add KP. Quickly is the better trade. Well, I agree with that. I mean, you could trade IQ, but you need to have the money match. So you're going to probably lose Hartenstein, Fournier, who else? Hartenstein and Fournier is $27 million. Well, you probably get enough right there because you're talking about probably 6 for IQ. So Hartenstein, Fournier, and IQ would be enough to match for KP in a sign and trade. Yeah, if you're going to do that. Yeah. So let's see where it's 2189. Gumby is Jew's disgruntled baby. Well, he's got Kendra. That's his real baby mama. But yeah, I hate you. Lord Sincere, that's an inflammatory statement at best. To say a subpar replacement is totally incorrect. And to just throw out the 25 and 10 out there is so shallow. I mean, come on. We're talking about a defensive effort that's lacking. Somebody that didn't show up in 2 playoff appearances. Stop. Come on now. You could give up. Not only that, you're replacing 25 and 10 when 25, 8, and 2 blocks, because that's KP. 25, 8, and 2 blocks. That's what you're getting. So it's not just throwing away 25 and 10. That's inflammatory. It's misleading in the whole 9. Come on, man. It's not like that, Lawrence Sincere. Come on, stop. What's up, Shane? Shane Mack, how you doing, bro? Oh, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Versus a player that makes all four players around him better. That's KP. He does. Okay, so man. Yeah, and not only that, you're still getting 25 and 8 from KP. Plus 1.9, 1.8 blocks a game. Come on, man. You're not getting 1.8 blocks from Randle. And you're going to get another 4 or 5 assists from KP in the way they run their offense. Come on, man. I mean, so you're not missing. You're not just losing 25 and 10. You're making that up. Not to mention how much more shots guys like Grimes would get. Okay. How much more minutes guys like Obi would get. Okay. So yeah, you're not losing anything, actually. I think you're actually gaining here. Yeah, you're gaining. So that's so yeah, we're not losing the 25 and 10 and all of that. Yeah, I hear you. No. We'll be all right. We'll see what happens, but we're going to see soon, y'all. We're going to see soon. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to see soon because this is a couple of weeks until this brother opts out, and he will opt out. So we're going to see what happens. He's going to opt out. I'm 100% guaranteed. Raw Hebrews telling you right now, KP is going to opt out of his current deal on June 21st. And he's going to become an unrestricted free agent. And let me tell you something else. He's going to talk to multiple teams before he re-signs with anybody, including the Knicks. I think Jeremy Grant fits. To me, those are the two players that are the biggest ones because they're both unrestricted free agents. They'll be unrestricted free agent. Everybody else is a trade. Siakam's a possible trade. Mikal Bridges is a possible trade. Please don't mention Miles Bridges. I don't want the wife beater, and I'm 100% sure the Knicks do not want him either. So let's stop with the Miles Bridges. And so let's, those are the two guys we're talking about right there. Really, those two guys are your biggest guys right there. You're talking about Jeremy Grant and KP. Those are available guys. These are not somebody you need to trade for. They're available. And so we will see what happens. Did y'all hear that? No, seriously, Kawhi, I think he's opting out too. I think Kawhi Leonard's opting out, isn't he? I think Kawhi Leonard's opting out. If I'm wrong about that, let me just look there. I think Kawhi Leonard's opting out. Let me just take a look at that. I think he is. I just want to see. Because if he is, that's another option. I'm not as high on him because of his, his situation. No, he's got one more year. He's 32, $46 million this year, and then a player option for next year. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Bridges or Brooks? Which Brooks are you talking about, Jabroni? What Brooks are you talking about? You're not talking about Dylan Brooks, are you? Is that a serious question? Jabroni, you're not being serious, are you? You're not talking about Dylan Brooks, are you? Aside from the fact that his wardrobe is this second coming of Kuzma, no, I don't want Dylan Brooks. Too much trouble, too big a mouth. Too much mouth on him. Yeah, too much mouth. Yeah, you gotta be joking me. You gotta be kidding. Yeah. Yeah, Mikal Bridges would be a guy that if he was available, if the Nets were to trade him, I'd be very interested in Mikal Bridges. Very interested. He's another piece that would get us to the next level. I'll be very interested in him. But I just don't see how the Nets would be letting him become available. I just don't see that. Okay, I can't see that. Yeah, I can't see that happening. But so really, the two realistic pieces that are out there that are really available are Jeremy Grant and Kristaps Porzingis. They're both going to be available. The Knicks might not get either of them, but they're both available. Okay, and I gotta believe that both of them are going to have their agents talk to the Knicks brass. They're going to have a conversation with the Knicks. This ain't like LeBron, the summer of LeBron, where he came and he really was going to sign with Miami anyway. This year, the Knicks are going to have serious conversations with these guys' reps, and anything could happen because they're both available. Okay, so we'll see. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. So Nick P, that's what you're talking about is running it back. You're not going to keep Fournier and Rose. That's off the table. So let's be realistic. Both of those guys are going. Fournier himself said, "You guys know, and I know I'm going to be traded." He said that. He said that's plainly to SNY. He knows he's going to be traded, and he's right. He's going to be traded. So forget Fournier. Okay, sorry, forget him. Okay. Um, yeah, so I like KP too, Michael Drake, but I can understand, if they went an OG and an OB at the right price for the right player, I can understand. I'm a little more nervous about that. He's not a sure thing to me as a KP or a Grant. He's really, really good. He's got a lot of upside still, but I'm not as sold on him. July 1st, John Mark, July 1st. So you're going to get, realistically, they're going to talk before that, but you're going to get KP available June 21st. July 1st is where both KP and Jeremy Grant can talk to people. So, yeah, so we'll see. This is going to be interesting, but we're going to see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be very interesting. I would feel more comfortable paying $30 million for Kristaps Porzingis than Jeremy Grant, but that's going to be their price. Both of them are going to be in that price range. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting, though. We're going to know less than a month from now. Yeah, July 1st. We're going to know less than a month from now what's going to happen. July 1st is a Saturday. So you're going to know on a Saturday. It's going to be interesting. But I'm telling you, the KP situation will not be solved until the following week. He's going to be talking to everybody. If ESPN and mainstream is capping real hard, KP Knicks is a bad deal. We know it's the opposite, and it's a high possibility. Yes, it's true. I don't really pay attention to media too much. You all know that because I think they're full of crap most of the time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you, 2189. I think you're right. Yeah, so we'll see. Oh, you mean like phone calls? I haven't figured out how to do that yet. We'll see. Mailbag Ian Bradley. I don't know. I don't know if Ian would have that information. The Don keeps stuff real tight, man. He may not let Ian even know what's going on right now. We'll see what happens. He may not even let Ian know what's happening. He's keeping everything tight to the vest right now. So we'll see. No, he ain't scared. He ain't cool, man. He ain't one of the three wise men in my view. He's cool, man. He's giving everybody time. Everybody with a platform, he's giving them time. So I like Ian. He's cool. He's cool. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is going to be interesting. But all right, y'all. So I'm going to sign off. It's almost 3:00, but y'all are going to be watching the game tonight. I'm going to be watching the game tonight. I think Denver's going to win again, and I suspect I got Denver in 5. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ian Begley's a class act. He always has been. He really understates stuff. He doesn't overstate stuff. He doesn't do clickbait. I like Ian Begley. A lot of other people are not like Ian Begley, but I like Ian Begley a lot. I respect him a lot. So we'll see. But yeah, thank you all for all support. Scott Morgan and everybody else, 2189. Thank you all for this support. You guys are really kind. I greatly appreciate, your support of the channel. Thank you so much for that. Let's enjoy the game tonight. Let's sit tight. We're going to be talking a little bit about the draft coming up, although like I said, it's not a priority in my view for the Knicks, the draft, but we're going to talk about the draft some more this week as we're coming up. The 22nd of June is draft night. So we're going to be talking about that. Thank you, Gumby. I appreciate that. But we're going to be talking about the draft a little bit this week and the players that I've named already, but we'll go back into them because I haven't changed my stance on the two players. The only two players I think the Knicks realistically have a chance to get that they might take for different reasons, but we'll talk about that. I don't think the draft is a Knick priority this year. They're looking to scour, see if they can get somebody cheap. That's how they do. So we'll see. But anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the game tonight. Yeah, Taylor Hendricks, love that kid. Enjoy the game tonight. Chris Murray too, that's right. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please be safe out there. Take care of yourselves and your families. Shalom.